Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be for Will Smith. I'm going to use these 3 decks to answer the questions I'm going to be asking. So let's get started. So let's see what his current energies are. So this is really interesting, right? Because it's giving me almost like a clown, a full energy. And I know people would be like, oh, okay, like, that's expected. Like, to come up with that reasoning. But if you look at what's happening, it's kind of just like when sort of like a performer is performing at the theater, like back in the old days, and sort of like people didn't like the person or didn't like the performance, so they start throwing like old cabbage and sort of like old vegetables and fruits and shit. So I'm getting that sort of vibe. It's like he feels backed in the corner, he feels like a fool, he feels embarrassed. And I know it's the obvious energy, but it is what it is. I can't help that. Not just that, but it's like there's damage in the home. There's definite damage in the home. You know what I mean? Because this is a garden as well. But it's like the damage is because of his action or lack of action. So very interesting. I'm actually getting a lot of messages with that, but I want the reading to progress. So far, it seems like he just feels embarrassed, he feels awkward, he feels like he's backed in the corner. So what this Wheel of Fortune is showing me, this is funny, right? Because I know you guys are going to sound reaching and all that, but literally I cannot help the energies. I'm going to stop saying that, but it is what it is. His wife has definitely fucked up his Wheel of Fortune. That's what's going on, because it's like the obvious knowledge is obviously he was a respected sort of like actor, a respected person, but now look, like he's back in the corner, he's feeling stupid, he's feeling embarrassed and ashamed. And again, sort of like his wife's energy. This is definitely his wife's energy of being shady, of being a snake, full of deception, betrayal. It's that sort of energy. So that's really interesting. And again, it has to do with the home as well, with this 4. I don't know if you guys can see it. He feels trapped. He definitely feels trapped. I'm getting an energy of a strong burden. So at this time, he definitely feels a burden. He's also like really triggered. He's very paranoid. So it's like everything that people are saying, it's definitely bothering him. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of embarrassing for, I guess, a guy to have like his wife hooking up with other men. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's doing his thing as well, but it's still like a blow to the ego. So it was supposed to be a private situation is what I'm getting, but the fact that it came out, it definitely has him in his head. I'm also getting that he's trying to occupy himself with work because of what happened. So it's like, yeah, he's paranoid, yeah, he feels bothered, but it's like he's really trying to focus on other shit, so he won't focus so much on like what's being said, what's being done. This is a really interesting energy, because what I'm getting is just that he's actually rethinking sort of like their open arrangement. He's definitely rethinking it. And this is funny, right? Because, like, a little backstory to this, like, this was actually being said when I was like 13, 14. Like, I know it's like a long time ago because I'm like 29 now, but literally, like, when I was 13, 14, it was like a lot of people sort of just like saying things about their marriage as far as like sex parties and weird shit, like even that long ago. So it's funny now because what this is showing me is like he's done with that. So it's like, yeah, he did everything and then some. So it's like that sort of situation isn't inspiring his passions anymore. It's nothing fun about it. It's something he actually wants to close. He wants to close that sort of cycle with all that sort of like unconventional sexual relations and shit. I'm getting a vibe like he wants something more traditional. What this Six of Wands is giving me, he wants to reclaim his power. So this is really funny actually, because his wife, right? She's all about like claiming her power and all that sort of stuff, but really it's about her just exploiting shit and victimizing people. So it's kind of like, and I say she's victimizing people because it's just like a selfish sort of energy. And I picked that up obviously in the Jaden Smith reading. So it's kind of just like a, what do you call it, a continuation. You know what I mean? We were just following up on different family members and shit. So yeah, that's why I came to that conclusion. But anyway, it's about him trying to reclaim his power. He definitely wants to reclaim his power. I'm getting tense energy though. He's definitely in a tense energy. It's like he's going to be standing his ground. You know, what this Knave of Wands is giving me, there's a lot of regret. There's definitely a lot of regret. So this is funny. So it's like not only is he embarrassed, not only is he trying to like focus on work, so like, you know what I mean, not feel the pain and shit and the embarrassment, but there's a lot of regret. There's definitely a lot of regret is what I'm getting. So let's continue. The funny thing is, right, because obviously I guess this has to come through. How do I say this? Because I hate like conspiracy energies, but when it comes through, it is what it is. His family is a part of a hidden structure. They're definitely a part of a hidden structure. You know what I mean? They're definitely part of an agenda. So at the same time, he wants to switch things up. He wants to close a cycle. But they're actually using him and his family to push a type of narrative. Again, I know that's the obvious, but I mean, I can't help the energies. So that's what's being shown to me. It's like he can't get out. He definitely can't get out. You know what I mean? There's layers to this operation. There's definite layers. And for whatever reason, they definitely decided to use his family. So this is really interesting. I'm getting some other shit, but I don't want to go there at this moment at least. So now my next question is going to be about like his wife, his kids and all that. But I want to see what is his energy regarding his wife's mother. I don't know her name. But let's see, what is his relationship like with the mother of his wife? All right, so these are definitely his emotions because the cards came out face down. Oh, wow, shit. He has defensive energy. He's definitely defensive when it comes to the mother. And this is giving me a deep message as well as far as like how the relationship works. Because as you see, like he has his shield down. You know what I mean? This could be like a spear, even though it's a wand. But it's like he has his defense down. He has his weapon down. But there's a lot of resentment. There's definitely a lot of resentment. I'm getting like a passive aggressive energy. He put up with a lot of shit, like a lot of teaching, a lot of sort of like weird shit that comes from the grandma, basically, because of family. It has to do with family. That's why, like, he deals with a lot of shit. And it's funny because I, like, was led to, like, ask this question about the grandma, basically. Because it's like something's going on with her energy. So it's like he's dealing with shit out of respect, but he knows what's up. Because it had to do with his happiness. It definitely has to do with his happiness and his wife. So it's kind of just like if he doesn't submit and bow down, there's going to be problems with his happiness. Let's look further. I'm going to tell you guys, like, it's not something he wants to be doing. He's definitely caught up in his head about it. Not just that, but it's kind of like the most logical thing for him to do. So it's funny because it's like, I didn't ask the question yet. I'm going to ask that next. Like, does he love his wife? But from what it seems like, it's like he loves his wife a lot. So he deals with a lot of bullshit. And what's being shown to me is that Will Smith is a very logical person. He's definitely logical. Yeah, he has emotions and all that, but it's kind of just like whatever is the most logical approach, that's going to be the most like balanced situation. That's what he's going to be getting into. Again, I'm getting a vibe like it's a blow to his ego. It's a blow to his spirit. So he's been dealing and putting up with a lot of shit. But it's like he's been silent about how he really feels, how it's affecting him, how negative it is for his health. Let me go further. This is showing me though, because it's like telling a story, so this is really fascinating. He's starting to rebel. He's definitely starting to rebel, because before he was operating as a coward, but because of all the recent events, it's starting to inspire him to rebel. What did I tell you guys, right? That I didn't even know that this card was going to be coming next, so that's really fascinating, because it was about him rebelling. And look what he's rebelling towards. The red dragon. You know, the red dragon is always symbolic as well of like the devil. The devil, you know, symbolizes restriction. You know what I mean? Like torment. So anything that's been restricting him emotionally, he's going to be challenging it. He's definitely going to be challenging it. And he's going to be wounding it. You see what I mean? Because this is about what I tell you guys, that he's caught up in an organization. But this is giving me a vibe like he wants to leave. So I don't know if he is going to be leaving. Because I know this, like when you're caught up in like, you know, that sort of like shit, you can't just walk away from my knowledge. It's like a gang. But this is showing me he's just like, fuck it. Like, he's not fucking with what they're trying to teach, what they're trying to, like, put out as far as, like, all this weird sexual shit. Yeah, like, they're using him because he was really deep into that, and it wasn't because they forced him to be that way. That was what he was into. But he's in that cycle of just, like, not wanting to be in that energy anymore. So that's why he's just, like, leaving his swords down. He's just like, I'm good. And when you look at this, again, with the 4, symbolizing family, this is really deep. I'm getting he wants to walk away from his family. He wants to walk away from that whole structure. He sees it as evil. So, okay, very fascinating. So my next question is going to be, does he love his wife? Also, if you made it this far, definitely press the thumbs up. You're obviously curious about this reading. You've been watching it up to this point. So definitely show some love. I'll appreciate it for sure, for sure. It helps keep the channel going and all that good shit. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Does he love his wife? Yeah, he doesn't love her anymore. So what did I tell you guys? He wanted to leave, right? And look, he's just like riding a wave. He's like going away, moving away. And this cup would be symbolic of like their commitment to each other. You know, that sounds funny, right? With the open marriage and all. But this is like that commitment he shared with her, those emotions. He's like gone. He's caught up in his own emotions. This is his own torment, his own shit that he's going through. So he's caught up with himself. He's not focusing on that. And he's even side-eyeing it. So this is very interesting. Let's look further. I'm going to be asking about him and the sun. And I have like more questions, obviously, regarding the wife and all. Okay, his emotion, because it was face down. He's guarding himself. He's definitely guarding his energy. Not just that, but he's focused on spirituality. I don't know what type of spirituality this is. Excuse me, let me get a cup of water. But yeah, this is definitely showing me that he's focused on spirituality right now. Let's move forward. And he's about healing himself. He's definitely about healing himself. This is showing me that he's been through a lot of shit, a lot of pain. Sort of like who he is, his identity. It's really been wounded. You know, not just because of like everyone knows now, like of his situation. It has nothing to do with that. It's like what's been going on behind the scenes in his marriage, in his life, what he's been dealing with. He's been wounded. So this is showing me that he's turning to spirituality because he's trying to heal himself. He knows he can't do it alone. So it's like he's not even trying to fuck with the wife. At this moment, he's focusing on himself. His heart, you see how he's like guarding his heart? And this is funny because this is definitely his energy. Like, because Will Smith has aged, naturally, of course. But it's like he doesn't have time for bullshit. He definitely doesn't have time for bullshit, is what's being shown to me. And you can see it in his eyes. You can definitely see it in his eyes. A lot of cards, but okay. From what I see though, because they're kind of showing, it's not looking so good. But let me get into it. This is about a power dynamic. This is definitely about a power dynamic. He felt powerful at the start of his marriage, at the start of his career, you know, even like throughout in the early phases. He definitely felt good about it. But it's like he has a reality shock. He's definitely going through like a reality sort of like crisis at this moment. And this is funny, right, guys? Because this is showing me that he's not even proud of sort of like his career, of what he's been doing. Because I know this is a crown and a tiara, which is symbolic of family, lineage, accomplishments. You see, he's putting a sword through it. It's kind of just like he's not... I'm getting an energy like he's not proud of it. For him, those memories, those images, it triggers a dark night of the soul type of energy. So it's definitely triggering. I'm getting like he wants something new. But he has a lot to deal with, though. He definitely has a lot to deal with, because this was about his wife. So it was showing like he just wants new shit in his life, but the problem is going to be with the wife. Because in that organization, you guys know what I mean when I say organization, right? But in this sort of like, or in that organization that they're both in, including their family and all, she's held in high regard. Again, with the family, the four, and the structure and all that. So it's like he's bound. He's definitely bound. So it's like he doesn't even have the option to leave. You see, with the lovers, it's like... I'm getting a vibe like even if they divorce, he still has to deal with the shit behind the scenes. This is how like fucked up this situation is. Not just that, and I'm not like reaching guys, but they have a pact in blood. See, this is the lovers, and you see this sort of like blood ritual. So it's kind of like they're all caught up. He's caught up spiritually, he's tied spiritually. You know what I mean? He's just tied up. And it's like his best option is like, you know, someone would have to pass away, like her, in order for him to like switch shit up. They're definitely caught up in some occult shit for sure, for sure. You see with this fool, he wants to go on a new beginning, right? I was telling you guys he wants to go on a new beginning. But look at this, falling off the cliff. It's like he can't. If he tries to go on this new beginning, something bad is going to end up happening to him. So this is showing me he doesn't even want to fuck with the wife anymore. He doesn't even want to deal with the family, but he's tied to it. He can't leave. Also, I'm sorry for the lighting being weird. It's actually not the lighting. Certain cards and shit, like it affects the cam on this phone. I don't know why. So sometimes it like gets really dark or bright, or the color gets weird. Can't help that. It's just like sometimes the way the lamp is positioned, and like when I start the reading, obviously make sure like everything is good before I start it, I mean. But you know, as reading progresses, I can't help what happens. But anyway, let's continue. My next question is, because I did a reading on his son, and it showed like he has a difficult relationship with his son. So let's look, what is his relationship like with his son? You know, let's see it from his perspective, because we got like the son situation and the reality of it. So let's see what's going on with Will's energy. It's not, with this strength energy, it's not a real love sort of energy. It's a burden, it's a responsibility. And I'm getting a cold energy. So it's like, I'm not really even getting like a love sort of vibe. It's kind of just like, I have to like deal with him because he's my son. So it's like that energy of baggage. Let's look with this deck. Okay, the way that card fell is interesting. It fell like this. So it's showing me something's definitely disturbed. Yeah, with this full energy. This is funny, right? Because it's like I don't want to say it, but you know, it's kind of like we're getting kind of deep into it already, and you know, this is kind of like the obvious as well, I think, but this baggage energy, right? Because it was showing me that it had to do something with baggage, like raising him and all that is kind of like a burden. But not just that, but his son triggers him because of the secret situations that happen with the both of them. So this is really funny. It's showing me like a family that's really weird. So it's like they're really into some deep, weird shit, you know, some sick shit. It is what it is. Also, this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say in these readings come from my mind or my opinions. You know, I have to say all that for YouTube purposes. But this is showing me that they have a weird relationship. Yeah, I know I'm taking a while, guys. I'm not just like moving forward, but like I want to say like how like I don't even know how like to go about this, cause I'm getting that Jaden wasn't even a willing participant. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like something that happens when like people are young. You know, like when people take advantage of like, you know, a kid or something. It's giving me that sort of vibe. Obviously, I can't just outright say it for obvious reasons, but it's definitely giving me that vibe. And it has to do with a lot of shame, uncomfortable energies. This dude, he has a lot of trauma as far as Will goes. And yeah, this is showing me like he was a bad person, you know, obviously by doing this shit. But his family and his situation triggers him a lot. It definitely triggers him a lot. And his relationship with his son, it's very like awkward, you know what I mean? Because of like the shit that I mentioned. So yeah, very like uncomfortable and shameful. Let's continue. You know, I can't help the energies again, guys. So let's see, this has to do with his emotions again because they were face down. There's a situation going on with him trying to teach his son. And this is going back to the reading I did for Jaden, how like the mother turned the son against the father. So it's like he can't even be a proper parent. I'm getting like a vibe like when he tries to do some shit, you know, his wife gets involved. And she undermines the dad. So it's a tough situation because that's what I'm getting like it's really deep. It's definitely deep. Sort of like with this baggage and all that shit. So there's a lot of shit going on because it's like he tries to raise his son. He tries to have like a sort of father-son relationship. But he has to deal with the wife undermining him. Then he has to deal with the organization that's happening behind the scenes. So it's causing a lot of like disturbances. See, with this hermit energy, I mean, he had to, excuse me. With this, it's like he had to make a choice. You know what I mean? He knew what he was signing up for. You know what I mean? He knew that he was getting caught up in some weird shit. A lot of ritualistic shit. So now it's like he has animosity for the whole situation. He has animosity for the wife, the son. He has animosity for the money, the success. But at the same time, even though he has animosity for it, he enjoys a lot of the perks and the benefits, and he doesn't want to give that up. Very interesting energies. So let's continue. What is his relationship like with his daughter? With this Wheel of Fortune, I know it's like, it's really funny because I know like I did a reading on the sun and what came up is like the daughter is the beloved child. And I'm getting that even with this energy. He sees her as the future. He definitely sees her as the future. Let's continue. You would think the son would be the future because he's the boy, but it's like he sees the daughter as sort of like the future. Okay, these are a lot of cards. But okay, I'll take it. I'll take this one first. If you look here, he puts a lot of faith into the daughter. A lot of faith. This is giving me that same weird energy like with the sun. But I'm not getting like he took advantage of her. I'm getting a vibe like she's a willing participant. And this is funny, right? Because I know this shit seems so outlandish. Because, like, I can only imagine, like, if I was just watching a reading like this, I'd be like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Is this nigga just, like, being extra for the sake of being extra? But, like, if you guys watch my readings, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not new, you know, like, I pick up the energies intuitively through the cards. They definitely give me a message. And this is the message that I'm getting with that. You know what I mean? Like, they've done shit before. And I guess, you know, like if you don't believe my ability to read or all that, whatever, I mean, think of it as like common sense. I mean, we already know like how this Hollywood shit goes. It's weird. Not just that, but we obviously know how their like families caught up in some weird sexual shit, some devious sort of like weird shit. So it's like, is it really that outlandish? But I know it's really weird, but that's what I'm getting. So let me see what these cards are about. This is about someone's emotions, how they feel. He has a lot of secrets. He definitely has a lot of secrets. You see how it's like he's keeping it towards his chest? He has a lot of secrets. Definitely. You see with this energy again of guilt, shame, embarrassment. So you see, I didn't even know this card was going to come out. So this is interesting. This is showing he has a lot of secrets. This is guilt, shame, embarrassment. What this Queen of Wands situation is giving me, this is the daughter's energy, actually. This is why the daughter is cold. It's almost like she doesn't have a soul. Because, you know, if you watch the reading I did again for the brother, it was showing like she's been like almost brainwashed. And it's like she doesn't have a soul in her body. She's been caught up in a lot of weird shit. She definitely, like all of them, they all have. You know what I mean? But how it affected her, it's like it made her numb. Because these things are kind of like abomination sort of energies. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird for sure. And I know people are like, well, how come this guy doesn't, you know, like pass away in a plane crash and shit? And my only thing I can say with that is, we obviously know like some people get their karma right away. You know, some people get their justice, you know. Some people have free will to do certain things before shit goes down. You know, so it is what it is. But anyway, so let's see what this is about. Again, what did I tell you guys? That she's the beloved child, right? So it's like, and this isn't me being extra. This is Will Smith's true form. This is his true form. He's very distorted. He's very monstrous. You know, like don't get caught up with the flesh. If we look at the spirit, This is a person that's been into some weird shit. You see this red sky here? Symbolic of blood. This water here in the background, symbolic of craft. So yeah, he loved his daughter and all. Yeah, it's some sick shit involved. But this guy is he's a monster, is what I'm picking up. Kind of actually scary energy, right? So we kind of like got basically the energies with his wife already. I don't know if I asked anything direct. So let's see, what does the energies want to show me? What else can we see? Yeah, the pulling back. This is like a pulling back energy. See, with this world. Yeah, he's an entertainer and sort of like his content is shown all over the world. But for him, he wants to pull back. He doesn't even want to interact with people. So, I mean, I guess that's a good sign, because it's like he's not so, I guess, cold and heartless where he doesn't care. But then again, that could be part of like the karma, is that he's being tormented. Because this is showing me somebody that just doesn't even want to deal with anyone. He just wants to be on his own island and do his own shit. Let's look further. What this energy is showing me, this is really deep, right? Because this is showing me a man that wakes up, has to do the motions. So it's like, okay, he has to brush his teeth, he has to get his hair cut, he has to do an interview, it's like a guy that he doesn't have any true passions. It's like he got into so much depravity and done like literally everything you can do under the sun. And what that did is it just took away basically his soul. So it's like a shell. So this is really interesting. And what this sun energy is showing me, him and his wife are going to be exposed. I don't know how further they can be exposed, but this is showing me in the future something's going to be coming up where they become exposed. They're definitely going to be exposed because of the pact that they have together. They definitely have a pact. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's kind of like I said everything already, but these energies be showing some deeper shit, and it's just like, I don't know. I hate when like these energies come up, because I don't want to be that channel where it's just like, you know what I mean? My shit is basically based on that. But this hangman, again, like I said, he's caught up. He's definitely caught up. He's definitely caught up. I mean, it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? This is an unconventional hangman. Very appropriate for what this guy is caught up in. Because the hangman is about being stuck, not able to make a decision. You know what I mean? Being confused, being stuck in illusions. Definitely represents what he's in. You obviously see this castle, symbolic of structure, organization. The flag of fucking, like, claiming shit, dominance. So it's like their situation. I'm gonna actually leave this reading here because I think it's perfect. It's already a long reading, and we already got the energies of how he feels and all that shit. So it's no point to go deeper. But it's like this is very actually deep, because it's like this just shows what's controlling the whole operation. It's like he's caught up. He can't leave. You know, this is basically the whole reading. Like, he just doesn't even want to fuck with people. He wants to be left alone. This is showing like he's just caught up in his head. You know, like he doesn't even have any emotions. He doesn't even have no joy or happiness. You know, this is his wife and him. A shameful situation of being exposed. Shit like that. And look what's claiming them. The red dragon. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this reading here. Definitely tell me what you think, guys. Yeah, most definitely. Also, if you'd like to have a reading with me, how to go about that will be in the description box. And if you have a celebrity you would like me to have a reading on, how to go about that as well will be in the description box. And yeah, thank you for watching.